Good afternoon, folks.
Hello.
Hi.
Nice to see you. Thanks for doing this with me.
Yeah, thanks for
Yeah.
having us.
And of course, we're audio, so people don't know who's actually sitting here. Can you give the people an idea of who I'm talking to?
I am Megan, vocalist for Casket Robbery.
And this is Cory, and I play guitar for Casket Robbery.
Thanks again for joining me. I'd like to thank the folks at Clawhammer for setting this up. I've actually been listening to you folks since Annabelle's Hell.
Oh, nice.
That was before your time, Megan,
It was before me.
but yeah, I've been ever since that first song came out, I've been like, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Although I am on that track. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
she did a guest vocal on that track.
you did backing vocal on that?
I did. I am all the little girl giggles and the whispers and stuff are all me.
Oh, cool. So you had a part in that.
I did, yeah.
That's a cool song. Reminds just the name of the song reminds me of Alice in Hell from Annihilator.
Nice, nice. I love that song. It's a
So do
great
I,
song.
yeah. Some great guitar work there.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So pretty exciting news for you guys. You just got signed to Blood Blast Distribution.
We did.
How'd
Yeah.
that come about and how excited are you? Only your second album and you got a record deal already.
Yeah, we're very excited about it.
Yeah. Blood Blast is really cool. They uh approached us and they liked our stuff. We were kind of, sending our stuff around to see, if anybody would be interested in it.
Yeah,
And they were really stoked on it. And definitely got to give a thanks to Bryce at Blood Blast. He's been great working on this album with us and learning a lot of new stuff on this release, that we're doing this time around. And it's been great.
that's pretty exciting, especially if they reached out to you guys. And yeah,
Yeah.
was your first album, was that independently released or was that through somebody else?
That was on a smaller label. Let me see. I actually have I kind of forget. I don't know if they're doing, if they're around these days, but it's Mortal Music.
Oh, okay.
Um, and they had a few artists back in I think 2016 when we released that. So yeah, we released it on a small label, and then after that we released some singles and EPs and stuff called all independently, and then for this album, yeah, we decided to kind of team up with somebody again.
Nice. So you folks have had a short little jaunt of a tour. You had some dates in August, I see. And then you've got one coming up on the 8th at the Tennessee Metal Devastation Music Fest.
Yeah.
How does it feel to get back out there belting out the tunes and being back on stage? How does that feel? I mean, that's what you
So good.
I'm sorry?
So good, so good. It's been a long time coming, and we've spent all of today getting prepped. We leave tomorrow for this tour, so
Oh, okay.
we are like last minute, like me and Cory getting everything set, all the merch, everything that we could possibly need, our house, all of that. So, we are very, very excited. It has been a long time since we last toured.
Yeah.
And then anything else planned for the remainder of the year? Or is that it for this year for you guys? Or
We've got so with the release of our album in November, we've got like a sprinkling of a few Midwest shows. Nothing touring for throughout the end of the year yet. We're gonna focus on this album release and then really start diving into writing again.
Yeah.
oh wow.
Yeah. Yeah. All we have is this 2-week tour coming up, and that's pretty much it.
Oh, okay. Nice. Well, seeing it's your last day, I appreciate you taking the time out to talk to me.
Yeah, no problem. No, we're so funny. We each have, I think, like our table out there is like littered with to-do lists and checklists right now. So we're just kind of knocking through our checklists and stuff. And I was just kind of rolling t-shirts and getting those set aside. So yeah.
So you guys are still technically independent. You still do your own merch table, or do you have friends that do that for you?
It kind of depends where we're at. Typically, we do it ourselves. I'll sometimes have a merch person like helper behind there, but it's something that I really enjoy doing afterwards and talking to everyone. I think that just kind of adds to what we're about. So I find my way behind that merch booth pretty much all night.
Nice.
Yeah, it's kind of a cool way for fans to be able to chat with Megan. So
Yeah, the only other band I've seen do that before that kind of built a name for themselves was Huntress. Huntress, after
Oh,
their set, they always left the stage and they came right off the stage and they went to their merch booth and they worked the booth and
yep,
they gave away Jagmeister beer holders,
yep.
guitar picks, and then Jill would take photos with people. I got my picture with Jill. I got to interview her twice
Oh.
before tragedy struck.
Mm.
She was a pretty incredible person.
She was very incredible. Yeah.
So I got a question for you because I've been listening to metal since I was, I don't know, a teenager, and I'm 56. I'm 4 years shy of 60. Still listen to it. I like your guys' stuff, that sort of thing. There's this misconception that metal has got over the decades. People think there's something wrong with you, like not with me so much, but they're like, "How can you listen to that? You're such a nice guy." I'm like, "Well, so are the people who make the music. They're
Yeah.
just regular people.
Yep.
It's just their way of expressing their art. It's just a different form of art that you're not used to listening to because this isn't the stuff that makes radio a lot of times, you
Yep.
know. It's underground stuff. So how does that characterize you guys? Like, people painting this picture of you guys just being this evil satanic people,
Right.
and it's like it's completely opposite,
Yeah.
you're
We
getting it
do
out
get
of your system.
it's true. Yeah, and that's what I really like to say because we get asked this question occasionally, but often enough to where a couple of the guys we've done a few interviews with used to laugh because I was a daycare teacher at the time.
Oh,
And yeah, and that's what I do. And now I work in hospice now.
oh, okay.
So it's really interesting sometimes to have those conversations with people and realize that yeah, we're people and we are like, I mean, ask any of our fans and it's the reason why we have the fan base that we do, but we are kind people. And metal, for at least for me, is a huge outlet for everything and all of that, like, light and shadow aspect. You're able to get up on that stage and have this incredible release, and I just don't hide away from that. I don't shy away from being authentically who I am. I love horror, but I love what I do outside of this too, and I think there is room for all of it.
Yep.
um as long I'm just gonna not, we don't BS people. We have there's light and dark and we choose to be in both of it.
Well, yeah, I babysat for 13 years. I did daycare for 2 years, and I played Santa Claus for 10 years. But I like my metal,
Yeah, yep. And they
Yeah.
don't, it's funny because you don't have to have one or the other. All of
Right?
this
You can
can
balance it out.
coexist. Yeah, it can coexist. My little kids used to know exactly how to headbang and all of that. And they called it my monster music. And I loved
Monster music.
it.
No, I think it's great. Did you always start out with that vocal styling? Is that something that you had had wanted to do, or is it something that kind of transcended over time? Is it
It definitely came about over time. I started out in a a metalcore band. And so
Oh,
I
okay.
was singing kind of 50-50 and screaming, but I did more of like the Fry screaming.
Right.
Stuff like that, stuff like the Maria Brink screaming that
Right.
way.
Yeah.
And then it slowly I started taking vocal lessons and learned the false chord, the gutturals and the growls. And when I joined Casket, that's kind of just how it developed over time. And now I'm just having fun, like figuring out how to play with my voice even more, like through the false chords. Now I'm looking at like Fry screaming through the like trying to almost mimic deathcore stuff.
Oh, okay.
Just
Yeah.
seeing where my range is that way and kind of playing with it.
Yeah.
So it's been really fun. It's kind of always adapting, and I am enjoying kind of seeing what I can play with.
Well, I definitely hear the variations in the songs on this album.
Yeah.
Gotta, they sent me the album early, because I was gonna do the interview, so the guys made sure I could hear it before I talked to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's got some, um, of course, your single right now is Worm Food.
Yeah.
It's fitting with the name of the band, right? It's like Casket Robbery, Worm Food,
Yep.
Perfect. Yeah.
you know. And then there's Beautiful Death, and then the guitars on Bone Mother. Like, where'd you come up with those sounds? Like, there's just those really wild sounds. Where'd you come up with that? Just it kind of
Um,
sounds. I don't know. It just it caught my ear because it just is such a different sound on the guitar.
right, right. Yeah, yeah. So okay, so a little bit about that, like for Bone Mother and kind of all the songs I do the same thing, but it's like uh we kind of come up with like a really rough idea of guitars first, and then Megan will put down some vocal ideas.
Oh, okay.
And then what I do is like I think she put down that the Curse of Baba Yaga, that chorus thing, and then I threw down like a chunky guitar to go with it, but then I did these squeal noises. I think that's probably what you're talking about, those weird
Yes, it is the
squealing.
squeal. It is the
Yeah.
squeals. Yeah.
So like I did the chunky parts to follow her vocals, and then there was a space, and I'm like, what can I do in the space to make the song sound creepy? And that's kind of like a lot of what I do with the guitar is like, how do I make it sound like a creepy noise, like you would hear in a horror movie or something?
Yeah.
So I filled it in with those squeals, and man, yeah, that's like one of our favorites to play live, and we always get asked about those squeals in that song
Yeah.
specifically. So it's so much fun, and it definitely adds like a whole feeling to that song.
Oh, most definitely. Because like I said, it helps the song stand out.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And it's kind of interesting too, because the rest of the song is just really kind of chuggy, just kind of your standard guitar riffing. So without that, I think it would be just kind of maybe a boring song, honestly. But just those, just those little
Uh, I
extra
don't
touches.
I don't know if you can say that one of your songs could be boring.
Yeah, yeah, but yeah, it's
'Cause
a
they're all
fun one.
chugging through, right? Like, and am
Yeah,
I mistaken? Is there maybe some inspiration from Dimebag Darrell in there? Maybe not in that
oh, yeah,
song specific, but in your
yeah.
playing overall?
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. My inspirations are all kind of a mesh at this point. But yeah, Dimebag was a huge one for me. And he's got that same thing where it's like he's just got this distinct, really
Yeah.
like yeah, the sound.
Yeah.
And I definitely like that.
Who else is on your hit list? Who else
Um
stands out for you?
the other one would be like Dave Mustaine, Megadeth, the
Oh,
riff.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, the early riffing that he was doing. Even some of the new stuff on the new record is crazy. Like
Oh, yeah. Like
yeah,
song number two. I forget what it's
yeah.
called. Um, but
I
the riff, he's just so fast on that.
Right.
It's just like a steam tank coming rolling at you. It just doesn't
Yeah.
let up.
Yeah, yeah. I like that. I like after all these years he can like lay it down, and that whole album is real solid from front to back.
Yeah.
I had a lot of vibes off that, from like almost like old school feeling vibes. It reminded me a lot of old Megadeth, like
Yeah.
in sections. So he's a big one, and then there's like Children of Bodom. Alexi
Yes.
is
Okay.
kind of those. They're all just distinct guitar players. You know, when you hear them play their guitar, you know who it is. I like that a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to see Megadeth on their Rest in Peace tour.
Oh man,
It was Testament, Megadeth, and then Judas Priest.
holy cow!
Nice.
Wow.
And Rob Halford came out on his Harley. That's how
Oh,
he
nice.
entered the scene.
Dude, amazing. I'm so jealous.
That was in 1990. It was Halloween night, 1990. I'll never forget it.
Wow.
That's so cool. Wow.
Yeah, because Testament rocked the stage too. Those guys are killer.
Yeah.
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 So I noticed that you guys have sponsors. How does a band go about getting sponsors? I've not seen that very often.
It kind of depends. Sometimes we seek out things, sometimes people seek us out, sometimes it just kind of falls into place, really.
Yeah.
Um,
I think majority or like products like we really used all the
Yeah.
time. And then we reached out and just let them know, like, hey, like my Dean Markley string endorsement. I've been playing Dean Markley strings since I was 12 years old, like
Oh, wow.
exclusively. So when I started touring and stuff, I'm like, I'm gonna use their strings all the time anyway. Like, why not just approach them and see if they'd be interested, and sending me some strings. And they were really cool. They're still really nice people. After all these years.
That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. So that's one example. But yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of them. But yeah, we don't endorse things that we don't believe in too. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's like it's all stuff that we really like.
Do you get free mics, Megan?
I do not get free mics. I wish I got free mics. Although I stick with my one mic and like that's just my baby. And that reminds me, I don't know
Yeah.
where that is. You have that.
Oh yeah.
Uh-oh. Is that on your to-do list?
Yeah.
It's on my list. It's on my list actually.
See,
I think twice at least.
that would be a good company to work with.
It would
but,
be. It would be really maybe someday.
Yeah. But like that's like, well, Shure microphones.
Yeah.
They're really solid. Like
I love my Shure.
you buy one and you can like run it over with a car,
Yeah.
and it's gonna still work. So
Like, oh great, there's the promo right there that we need.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah, they're so solid and roadworthy. But yeah,
They really are. Yeah. They take a beating.
It's like a Timex watch.
Yeah.
yeah,
You guys are old enough to know that.
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
Timex, yeah.
So here's a question you've probably never been asked before.
Sure.
Here, insert sarcasm. The name of the band, where did you guys come up with that?
Oh yeah, that's a Cory question.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was early days. Me and the previous vocalist. We had, we started the band as just like this internet. We just recorded and put stuff on the internet, and that was it.
Oh, okay.
And we were like kind of like coming up with, we were trying to like, well, we had the songs, right, and like ideas of like what he was going to have lyrics about and all that, but we like couldn't find a name. And then we like compiled a whole bunch of different names, and they were all like, like there was like some zombie, and we're like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then there was Casket Robbery was on the list too, and it was like, oh my god, that would be perfect. But I bet, and then my thought was like, well, there's probably already a band named Casket Robbery, like no doubt. And then I Googled it and looked it up everywhere I could, and I boggled my mind that there wasn't a band called Casket Robbery. So I immediately got all that, I think it was Facebook then. I don't know if we had MySpace, but yeah, it was got the Facebook, got all the, at Casket Robberies, casketrobbery.com we have. So yeah, it lucked out, and it just kind of fit, and it fits perfectly for what we're doing.
Cool. Yeah, because it definitely stands out,
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the album overall just slays. Like it just,
Awesome.
and I hope this brings you guys a lot of success. And the great thing is you have somebody behind it that's gonna support you guys and push it out there and market it for you guys.
Right, right. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're really I guess one thing we could say is we went through a lot to get this album out,
Yeah.
and it's kind of, by the time we got it out, we were so sick of it because we had been sitting on it for so long through
Yeah.
through COVID, and then we had we retracked a lot of it, and we put extra work into it, and it was like so exhausting and almost a nightmare to finish. But now looking back on it, it's like something I'm extra proud of, that we went the extra mile, we went
Right.
above and beyond, and um redid stuff that we didn't like and made it perfect, and it definitely paid off. And the team behind it is phenomenal. Every person we've worked with, um,
Yeah.
Christian Donaldson mixed it. Troy, our guitar player, he did a lot of the engineering on this one and the recording
Nice.
part of it.
Yeah.
And he kind of pushed us, because the first album I recorded, and he took charge of this one, and like we did above and beyond. So it's just phenomenal. And then yeah, of course, Blood Blast and Clawhammer and
Yeah.
everybody that we have on board is so awesome.
Yeah, I've been working with the guys at Clawhammer for a couple of years now. I know Scott pretty good.
Yeah, yeah, they're our faves. They're
Yeah.
they're great guys.
Yeah, they are. They're really good people.
Yeah.
It's a bit early to tell, but any chance you folks might come up to Canada at some point? Have you ever been to Canada?
Well,
I've never been to Canada, but we actually, on two of the tours, I think, were set to come to Canada, that the ones that got canceled because of COVID. So hopefully soon
it's
we'll be up there,
yeah.
because we're all ready. We all have passports. That's why we got that's why I got a passport, actually. Right, the year of in 2020 was because of that. So we're all set.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we will be there as soon as we can, for sure.
Possibly the spring, early summer sort of thing.
That'd be
Yeah.
way cool. Yeah.
Yeah, we're trying to fill up the tour schedule
Yep.
for next year. So
Well, make sure you come into the Vancouver area. 'Cause
Okay.
a lot
Okay.
of people from the States just hit Toronto, Montreal, Ottawa, or
Mm-hmm.
Ontario, but they don't come out this way. So
Okay.
that's
maybe keep
unfortunate.
Vancouver in mind, and I'll,
Yeah.
if I hear about Canadian dates, I'll be sure to push them at my end. Be like, hey, Casket Robbery's coming. Let's go.
Yeah, it would be
Sell
great
out
to
the
get to
place.
Vancouver.
Sorry.
Oh, it would be great to get to Vancouver. I did a tour with a previous band way back, and we played Vancouver, and it's like one of my favorite cities anywhere.
Who
So,
was your band from way back that you played here with?
Luna Mortis.
It sounds familiar.
Yeah, we were on Century Media Records, and we did one album with them.
Okay.
So that's
That's
probably
my-
what you've heard of
That
it.
was my first label that let me review for them back in 2011. Nikki Law. Nikki Law was the one who let me do that.
Cool.
She's now got her own PR label. It's Breaking the Law, because her last name's Law.
Yeah.
Breaking the Law.
Nice.
Her own PR company, and yeah, she's a sweetheart.
That's cool.
Because she was head of PR for she did media for Century Media, and then she went on to Metal Blade, and now she's got her own.
Nice.
Okay, cool. I
She's
don't know.
representing like Laconic Coil and
Oh, okay, wow.
pretty pretty big artists. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. Nice.
Or Lacuna Coil, I guess it's pronounced properly.
Yeah.
So is there anything you folks would like to add before I let you go so you can get the rest of your packing done?
Actually, I have a question for you. What's your favorite track on the album?
Oh, sure. Right here, actually, it's gotta be Bone Mother
Is it?
Nice,
Okay. Cool,
nice.
because
cool.
of the
All right.
guitars.
Yeah, yeah.
Because of the
All
Okay.
right.
Yeah.
All
Yep.
right.
I kind of thought you were gonna say that after our conversation, but that's great. That's cool. I like, we always like to ask, you know, people what they're digging and that. So very cool.
Well, that was a first when it got thrown back at me, because a lot of times it's just me asking it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was different. Kind of threw me.
Yeah. Sorry to put you on the spot there.
No, that's okay. It's all good.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
mind.
We like to toss things up a little bit, you know, sometimes in our interviews. So
Well, that makes it more fun for everybody.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, go ahead.
I guess one last thing too, like anybody, check us out online. We're just like at Casket Robbery or casketrobbery.com. You can find us pretty easy, and we chat and super friendly with everybody.
Yeah.
Well, I don't get that vibe at all. No, I thank you both for taking time out of your busy schedule of trying to get your things ready to get out the door. So
No problem. Thanks for having us.
my pleasure. Yeah, I'll help get some push on this album, and when it's closer to the day in which I can actually review it, I'll get a review and I'll send it to the guys at Clawhammer.
Cool.
Super cool. Yeah. And we're down to do an interview anytime.
Yeah.
This was super fun. So
Yeah.
thank you. We
Nice.
appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate it too. And
Mhm.
maybe something in the new year, if you're coming up this way, we can maybe
Yeah.
even do one in person.
Yeah, that'd be so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish you guys all the best, and I hope you have a safe journey on your tour, and we'll talk to you hopefully in the new year,
Perfect.
if not before.
Perfect.
Great.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Thank you.